go In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is driven by Mills Fleet Farm. From Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, here is Justin Hall and Packers defensive back Davon House.
And welcome once again, a special Tuesday night edition of In the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network. We are live from Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, and we are with Packers cornerback Davon House. Davon, thanks for coming out tonight.
No problem.
Well, we'll get right into it. 27-20 loss to Chicago, but I think the big story, what everybody's talking about today is Aaron Rodgers, the confirmed broken clavicle, that would be the collarbone, and Mike McCarthy saying he is week to week. I got to ask, what happens when 12 you find out he's not coming back into the game?
Initially, it was kind of sad because he is the best player in the league, easily best player on the team. So defensive wise, we just came together and said, for now on, it's going to be on us. Knowing that A-Rod's out, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, we've seen so much next man up this year, but. And I think the theme was, and a lot of players said, I know A.J. Hawk mentioned in the past, a couple other guys, is as long as 12's healthy, next man up kind of plays in, and kind of the different shakeup now, and now it's going to be, moving forward with Seneca the next few weeks.
Yeah, which is kind of true. You never thought Aaron would ever get hurt. You never hope so. But we got a good backup with Seneca. Seneca's won some good games, played good in Seattle and in Cleveland. So I'm glad Seneca is our backup. He's a veteran backup. So who knows the system now, and I'm excited to see what he does for us next week.
How much opportunity during the week does Seneca get with the ones and taking snaps and preparing for the game? Because from what it sounded like in the locker room after the game yesterday, that Aaron takes a majority, if not all, of the first team snaps. And, Seneca's more second team and running the scout team. Yeah.
He takes almost all the scout team reps. And every now and again you see him in with the ones and the twos. But he does do a lot of stuff after practice with knowing the play calls, running his no-huddle stuff or whatnot. So this week he'll get more reps with the one so that he can get in a rhythm and know how his receivers were.
Well, let's get to some of the positives from the game. Eddie Lacy, 22 carries for 150 yards. James Starks, 6 carries, 40 yards. Running game looking good again. And, I think the assumption is that, those guys, they really stepped it up last night. And, when Aaron's out, you're going to need a little bit more from them, right?
Yeah. It's good that we are running the ball this well, but at the same time, that we can't just run it every single play. They'll just throw 9, 10 people in the box. But I think with Seneca back there, he'll be able to spread the ball out and use his legs a little bit too, and we'll be able to pound the rock with Lacy and Starks too as well.
Special teams-wise, Jamari Lattimore, a blocked punt. Mm-hmm. You know the joy of what it is having a blocked punt.
Yeah, it's good, but it's better when you win though. So, but it was a great play by him.
Asking about the Bears, Josh McCown, and the public, I think the Packer fan perception of him coming in, he's the backup, things are going to be easy, and you're shaking your head no. I know Tremont was quick to run over questions on it last night, and Sam was talking about it, but he's a guy, you saw him on film, this guy can throw the football, and Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall has some weapons, and I guess kind of the perfect storm there in the Chicago offensive side last night. Yeah,
they have a really good backup actually, who most likely will start on a lot of these teams out here in the NFL. So he's not a regular backup or a scrub backup or a young guy who's just thrown in the fire. He started some games in Arizona, won some games. So he's a good quarterback, and they had a good scheme against us that worked really well. He did his job that day.
Alshon Jeffrey had a nice game yesterday. Different player from what you saw of him as a rookie last year. Did you see him before the injury? I was trying to remember.
I didn't hear that last part.
Alshon, did you see him? He got hurt last year, right?
I have no clue. I didn't know.
Do you remember seeing him last year, Alshon?
Yeah. Okay. I remember him when we went up to Chicago. We played against him up in Chicago. But yeah, it's day and night from how he was last year and how he is this year. So he's a lot better.
Him and Brandon Marshall, is that one of the better wide receiver tandems outside of Green Bay, of course, with the three guys that you got?
I would say yes, since that we've played against so far, yeah. I would say them two are probably the best two receiving core.
Yeah, we'll talk more on last night's game as we continue on here. We'll meet our guest here in a moment as well. Time right now for our Compass Land Consultant Injury Report as we get you up to date on what's going on and a lot of news today. On the injury report, it's our Compass Land Consultant, a full-service real estate consulting business specializing in the sale of vacant land, including hunting property. You can let the experts at Compass Land lead you to that victory in the search for the perfect piece of land to call your own. Compass Land Consultant, they can help you find exactly what you're looking for. Give them a call today, 800-548-6933, or check them out on the web at clclands.com. And kind of taking a look here, Aaron Rodgers, the collarbone fracture. Adam Schefter reported earlier today, 3 weeks of ESPN. Mike McCarthy saying about an hour ago at his press conference that it was going to be a week-to-week situation with Aaron. TJ Lang suffering a concussion. No word on what's going to happen there. Has to follow the protocol. I know Marshall came in and Don moved, so a little bit of movement on the offensive line. But those guys are ready. I mean, they play so many positions as it is that, you know, they're used to filling around and you know, going to different spots.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we have Marshall as a good backer who started, I believe, his first 2 or 3 years here in Green Bay. So it shouldn't be too big of a drop-off.
And getting a little bit more help on the offensive line, Derek Sherrod activated from the PUP list today. Correlating roster moves there. Linebacker Sam Barrington, he gets placed on IR. And Jermichael Finley going on IR as today as well. He's lost for a season. I know some hope there, but you know, with the situation, I know Mike talked about it, probably the best for him and his family right now.
Yeah. Like I always say, at the end of the day, as long as we are healthy, that's all that matters. Because I mean, this is just work. We do have lives outside of football, so I'm glad he's walking around and healthy.
Yeah, a couple more notes here. James Jones and Brad Jones each returning to action on Monday night. Clay Matthews could be back this week. McCarthy saying that he'll practice with the club. He had the pin removed from the hand and is hoping to be able to give it a go against Philadelphia, as is Nick Perry, the linebacker, who inches closer to getting back onto the field. All right, we'll step out here and we'll come back and we'll meet our guest tonight. Have more with Davon House. We are in the huddle here live from Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, a special Tuesday night edition on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, a special Tuesday night edition of In the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Davon House along with us tonight as we welcome our guest to the stage. Davon, you want to do the honors here once again?
Yeah. Today we have our two-time starting safety, MD, the doctor, Jennings.
MD, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, third season out of Arkansas State. You went to Calhoun City High School in Mississippi, a town of 2,000 people.
Yeah, I'm from a small town. To me, Green Bay is a big city.
One of the very few that probably came in and could possibly say that.
Yeah, probably, I guess Sean Richardson, some other guys from the South like that. Yeah, but it's not many of us that we can consider that a big city.
Well, baseball, track, and football in high school, was football your best sport, or was that the one you wanted to go with?
Yeah, football was definitely, my dream. I always dreamed of playing in the NFL.
How were you at baseball and in track?
I was pretty good in baseball and track. I consider myself an athlete. I think I can do it all.
Who's a better baseball player between you and Davon?
I think I am, but
God.
I know Davon prides himself on his baseball.
Yeah,
talent.
he did win the home run derby for Donald Driver's softball game.
I am. If the NFL had choose 9 players throughout the whole NFL, I'm starting on a 9-player roster.
What
Guaranteed.
position you playing? Center?
I'm playing center.
Okay.
Guaranteed. I'm playing center, batting first and second.
Arkansas State, that was your lone scholarship, correct? Lone scholarship
The
offer?
only D1 scholarship offer.
Now, you did have some other visits, other opportunities, though, was I reading
I
that
had
right?
a Division II offer to Delta State and some junior college offers.
So it was kind of the no-brainer there to go
No-
to Arkansas State.
No brainer.
That was, Davon, that was you, right? With New
Yeah,
Mexico?
well, actually, I walked on, so I wasn't lucky like MD to get a scholarship. So that wasn't in my my program.
When did you earn your scholarship? Did you earn one eventually?
First day after camp, our deal was if they don't give me a scholarship, I was going to go to JUCO. Well, I told them that, you know, did I do good enough to get a scholarship? Because if not, I'm going to leave. They're like, yeah, you did good enough. So I signed my letter.
That's good, a little gamesmanship there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Keep me around. So, what was it like playing at Arkansas State? What can you tell us about there? You know, not a BCS college, not a big college, and up here in little old Green Bay, big old Green Bay to you. We don't know too much about Arkansas State.
You know, it was fun playing at Arkansas State. Had a great coaching staff. Played very similar schemes and techniques as we do here in Green Bay. So, you know, I had a great college experience.
Did you play with anybody else that came to the pros, or?
You know, we had a long run of safeties right there. I think like five of us, five safeties, ended up playing in the NFL that was there with me. Alex Carrington, he plays D tackle for the Buffalo Bills. And it was a bunch of us.
So being undrafted, and that was 2011, that was kind of an interesting year because that was a lockout year, right?
It was.
Just kind of take us through that because, after the draft happens, you're just kind of sitting around in limbo because, the undrafted free agents, they couldn't sign until, the lockout situation. It's not like it is in a normal year where as soon as the draft over, guys are inking the paper.
Yeah, that's when you just have to be disciplined and dedicated, not knowing if you ever get your chance, but, just trying to stay in shape and be ready whenever you do get your chance. A couple of days before the lockout ended, I was offered a job to come back and coach at my high school, and I decided to turn it down, and the rest is history.
Teaching and coaching, that was the job there?
Teaching and coaching.
Is that what you went to school for? Is that what you majored in?
Yes, physical education.
What did you major in, Davon?
And consumer science.
Consumer science?
Mm-hmm.
What did you want to? I guess going in, if it wasn't football, what did you see yourself going in?
Well, my junior, senior year in college, I did over 150 hours of community service at this daycare center. So that was probably what I wanted to do the most because I loved being around children.
He's kind of, you kind of shook your head like, wow.
He doesn't have any kids right now, so he'll figure it out.
Can you talk about that? I saw something on Twitter and Instagram the other week.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I found out that we're having a baby, so we're super excited.
We had Don Barclay on last week, and he was doing it too.
What'd you say?
Don Barclay was on last week, and David brought that up that Don's having a baby too.
Yep. He found out his wife was pregnant in July, so yeah, we're our kids. Hopefully they're good friends.
Good friends growing up.
Yeah.
So I guess whoever the guest is next week, I don't know if there's any things happen in threes, right?
Yeah. So I'll pick out a guy in the locker room and hopefully he's having a baby.
Well, going back to the lockout, I kind of want to dive into that with you guys because I think it's going back to 2011 and something that hasn't been talked a lot about, but as rookies coming in 2011, I mean it's an interesting year because 2012, 2013, they have rookie orientation, there's OTAs, there's mini camps, there's everything to get them ready for the season, where you guys were pretty much just thrown into the fire, right?
Yeah, it was tough. I hats off to players like Cam Newton, who learned the playbook that fast and took it to another level. Because I mean, it's tough. I can imagine how the quarterback's position is to learn the playbook. For me, it took me maybe a month. So maybe I would say after the preseason for me to get it down. But by then I already pulled my hamstring and we already had things rolling, so it was kind of too late for me.
I want to get into that a little bit here in a second, the summer and what happened once you were drafted to when you were finally able to come in. But did you have any other opportunities? I mean, were the teams lining up for the services of MD?
It was, and it was just basically up to me and my agent to make a decision, and I chose Green Bay. I like the direction Green Bay was going, and decided to come here, and I've been here ever since.
What was the mindset coming in then? Because I mentioned undrafted free agent. You have literally no time in the playbook, nothing. And, I don't know if it was a week before you got here, how all the timing thing worked out. And here you are, and you cracked that opening day roster. I mean, that's quite the accomplishment there.
A lot has to do with the system I played in at Arkansas State. I played in the exact same scheme or whatnot. The only problem for me was just learning the terminology. Once I got that down, I was good to go. But I could line up and play all the techniques and things. But mindset-wise, the flight to Green Bay, I was just thinking, I'm not going home. I'm not going back home, and I didn't.
And here you are 3 years later, starting safety with the Green Bay Packers. And Davon, I mentioned that. What was your summer like then? I mean, you're drafted in April, and what happened? I mean, how much could you talk to the team? How much could you actually, do? Because, with the lockout, you guys weren't supposed to do anything. I don't know if anything you can't talk about happened.
For me, I didn't talk to no one at all. I might have talked to Tramon maybe once. I forgot. There might have been another DB I talked to once. It might have been JB I talked to once too. Besides that, was it. And worked out on my own. But at the time, I didn't know how to. I mean, it worked out, but it wasn't like, how training is now in the off season. So for me, it was kind of a setback because I felt like I was ready, but I was not even close.
Did you go back and watch any tape? I mean, did you spend any time maybe, watching a few games, watch the, because the Packers were coming off the Super Bowl, go back and watch that and get an opportunity to, see some of the things to expect here?
Nah, for me, because in college, all we did was play cover 4. Which is totally different from what MD's used to. So for me, it was really man up every play. There was no scheme or anything like that. So the playbook was easy in college. So when I got here, there was no knowing the system already for me.
Well, we'll get more from our guests here, Davon House and MD Jennings. We are in the huddle here tonight. We have our Brewpub Pizza Ask the Players segment coming up in a little bit. You can tweet your questions and Facebook your questions in there. And our wild card segment coming up next. We are in the huddle here from Tanners and Kimberly on the Woodward Radio Network. And back here at Tanner's Sports Grill in Kimberly, a special Tuesday night edition of In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. Davon House and MD Jennings, our Packer guest tonight, is transportation provided by L&S Classic Limousine. Lenny doing a nice job braving the elements here in a rainy Green Bay tonight and getting our players here in time. Time right now for our wild card segment, and we had some fun with this last week. We had Don Barclay and David Bakhtiari in and kind of gave you a different phrase or a different thing, and what they did was tell us what offensive lineman it fits the best. So we got a couple of defensive backs here. So I figure we can kind of switch the flip the switch. There we go. And do the same thing here with you guys. So you ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Who would be the strongest of the defensive backs?
Chris Banjo.
J-Mac.
Banjo's he's a tough-looking dude.
He is.
Davon was telling us earlier in the year that he's Mr. Media Guide, that he knows everything about everybody. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, he does.
Who's the fastest of the defensive backs?
Sam Shields.
Yeah.
No-brainer on that one?
No-brainer. No-brainer. Hands down.
I brought this up with David. It'd be fun if, the offensive lineman kind of did like a decathlon just to watch it. I think it would be fun to watch the defensive backs do it because I think you guys would have quite the competition. Long jump, high jump, javelin throw, which would be Davon, the baseball player.
Yeah. Anything throwing there, I got it.
All right, who is the best dressed of the defensive backs? This might be easy.
Either Tremont or Shields to me.
Yeah, probably Tremont.
What would Tremont say if he knew you threw shields into that one?
He might agree, because Tremont, the stuff Tremont wears, no one else can wear. To me, he has his own. Like last time he came out, he wears leopard stuff. I can't see no one else wearing leopard stuff, but he pulls it off.
All right. Who of the defensive backs would win the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July? So you guys aren't like the offensive linemen where you just eat, and more eat, right?
I might say Sean Richardson.
Yeah,
that's my
Sean.
guess.
Sean
Because he's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Is he the one that when you go out to eat, you always worry about having to pay for?
Nah.
Who has the worst pregame ritual?
The worst.
We got a good laugh from MD here. Either it's not a good question or you got a great story for us.
I don't know. The worst. MD might say me. I eat a pickle before every game. Because I don't want to.
You know what?
Cramping.
He keeps a big jar of pickles in his locker, and if he opens the top of his locker, you can smell it all over the locker room.
He doesn't eat pickles. I don't know why not.
Don't they say keep refrigerated?
I don't know.
Once you open, keep.
That's a good question. I gotta check.
I guess he didn't read the label.
That's a
You're
good question.
gonna go back tonight and go check and make sure.
Nah, I'm still
am I
gonna
eating
eat it.
bad pickles?
I'm gonna eat it again on Sunday.
Who would make the best NFL quarterback?
I like to say me.
I guess, yeah, he's the baseball player. He said anything
You
that
gotta say me.
deals with throwing, he's the best. So
Yeah.
Where are you on the depth chart of quarterbacks?
Second.
Second?
I'll be second.
Okay.
No, on our team or just in general?
Just overall on the team.
Oh, overall second.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about who would be the best wide receiver?
Sam
Shields.
Shields.
Yeah.
He played receiver in college. So
That's right. He switched to defensive
I
end.
hope he would be the best.
Yeah.
Now, with that, you guys kind of got banged up at the position. Did anybody have to switch sides or anything at practice, or is that top secret?
Nope.
Okay.
It was strictly defense.
Okay. Just making sure. Who would be the best football color commentator? The best John Gruden or John Madden or Chris Collinsworth?
Who you think, Morgan?
Yeah. Oh, hands down, Morgan.
Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan. Morgan's funny.
He likes to talk.
Yeah, he has some good quotes.
Who would be the best coach?
Coach.
I was waiting
Morgan.
for MD to say MD because he almost had a coaching job.
To me,
I think I would be a great coach.
I think Morgan would be a great coach.
Yeah.
I knew House would go against me, though.
By the way, Davon, we have to ask, how did the coaching go with you and Tremont a couple weeks back at the Powder Puff
It
game?
was very competitive. Not between the coaches, but between the women, though. And they just wanted to win. I wanted to have fun.
You're just standing there watching, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who is the most likely to play a practical joke? No practical jokers?
I would say House. I got some cleats missing that they just disappeared, and I think House had something to do with it. Anytime my stuff get in his space, he always hides it. If his stuff gets in my space, I hide it. So I got some cleats missing that need to show up.
Are we going to see any confessions here, Davon, or are you just going to plead the fifth here?
Nah, I don't know nothing.
Okay. Who would be the best Hollywood actor?
I would probably have to say. I have to say Morgan again because Morgan's funny, so I would say Morgan.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Who is the smartest, the most intelligent defensive back?
I would either say MD or
MD
Morgan.
liked that answer. You just started nodding.
MD
Yeah,
or
that's
Morgan.
right.
I was surprised. I was in shock.
Nah, our safety's got to be smart, so I would have to say him or Morgan. Yeah.
You're going to just take that and agree with that?
I'm going to take it and run with it.
Well, that's the other thing, too. I mean, the communication with you guys, too. Just kind of to get back to it. You guys are the quarterbacks of the defense out there, screaming everything, making sure everybody's in the right place, right?
Yes, we are. It's up to us to make sure everyone is lined up and, playing the same call. House think thinks that he can play safety, but I don't know.
Is that a think or is that a want or?
No, I don't want to play safety. I like playing corner. But on third down, I wouldn't mind playing safety. I know they're throwing it.
Go get that pick six and get to the end zone and dance. Speaking about dancing, best dancer.
Jared Bush. All he does is throughout the whole game, throughout the whole day, every day, he dancing.
Pre-game practice, I mean, no
Pre-game
music or he'll just start dancing. He just has it in his head.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you're sitting there, you're watching, and you see, 9 guys lined up on the kickoff. Mason's putting the ball up on the tee, and then there's Jared Bush dancing to whatever. It don't matter what it is.
That's JB.
Miley Cyrus, Def Leppard, whatever. He's making it happen. Who would have the best reality TV show? Follow cameras around one of you guys.
Probably JB.
I don't know. I'd probably have to say JB just because JB is a JB.
How are you guys as a position group? I mean, there's a lot of characters. Are you guys pretty close? I mean, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I would say we're close. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that, I mean, when you look back at levels, going to college and whatever, was it kind of the defensive backs, you guys always hanging out, always make sure you're studying together? It's kind of that same way, that same role?
Yeah, I think so. We're basically still kids. We're still playing a game that we all love. So from high school to now, I don't think anything has changed.
How about that from some of the other position groups? I mean, is it like that? I mean, all close-knit in all the groups, and is there one group that I guess would be kind of, when you sit there and you watch, you just kind of scratch your head and wondering what they're doing over there?
Nah, I think every group is tight, from quarterbacks to tight ends to middle linebackers. Everyone's tight.
You look at each of the groups, and I think, Jordy did the show a few years back. He talked about how they all went to Kansas and artificially inseminated a cow. Did you ever hear that story?
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I never. I gotta ask.
Maybe ask Jordy about that when he had the tight ends that had the picture with the pajamas.
Yeah, I seen
That's
that.
pretty good.
I think that was last year.
You got TJ and Josh that seem like they're a pretty fun group of offensive. You guys got a lot of characters on the team. Must be a fun road trips for you guys.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Well, we'll get to some audience questions coming up. It's our Brew Pub Pizza Ask the Player segment, Twitter and Facebook. You can submit your questions there, and we'll have more coming up. A special Tuesday night edition of In the Huddle. Davon House and MD Jennings with us here on the Woodward Radio Network. Here in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Davon House, MD Jennings, along with us tonight. Time right now for our Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza Ask the Players segment, where throughout the day and the week, people have submitted questions on our Twitter page at In the Huddle Show, and also on Facebook, facebook.com/In the Huddle Show. You can like us there. And the new Brew Pub Pizza, specifically designed with the hungry man in mind. It's big, it's bold, and it's outrageously delicious. Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza made with your favorite premium meats and veggies, topped with over a half pound of Wisconsin mozzarella cheese. That's the good stuff. You can pick one up today at your favorite local grocer. Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza. It's not just a great pizza, it's an experience. Let's get to some questions from some of our fine folks listening on the Woodward Radio Network. We'll start with Mark in Fond du Lac, listening on our good friends at KFIZ. This one's for you, MD. How often do you get asked about the Seattle game?
All the time.
You almost thought you were going to make it an entire show without getting it brought up, right?
I did. Anywhere and everywhere I go, I'm always asked about the Seattle game.
You just kind of, you over getting that question? You want to send it out? People, if you run into MD, don't bring up the Seattle game?
Yeah, right after that happened, I was determined to make another play, so people could forget about that play and, just try to put that one behind me.
And you had the long interception return for a touchdown, and still
I did, but no one remembers that play. It's just the Seattle play.
Well, here's what's gonna, someday you're gonna do that 6-pick in the Super Bowl, and then nobody's gonna remember the Seattle game anymore. Or maybe you'll get them at Lambeau and send them Send him down.
That's the plan. I mean, I definitely got to make that happen. If anything to make people forget about the Seattle play.
All right, we'll get to the next question. This one coming from Steve in Wisconsin Rapids, WFHR in Wisconsin Rapids, our affiliate there. What was your favorite Halloween costume as a kid?
Is that for me?
Yes, for both of you.
For me, we really couldn't afford costumes, so every year it seemed like it was always the same thing. It's either I was a ghost or and I would just either I put a sheet over my face and poke, and it was a sheet and just cut out
The
holes.
eye holes, yeah.
Or I'll just be like a vampire. I just paint my face and then wear the clothes I had that day for school.
How about you, MD?
The one I remember the most is just the Scream mask. Once that movie came out, we would just try to find different color masks and just wear those.
So that was your favorite Halloween costume as a kid. When was the last time you grew up or you dressed up for a Halloween party? And I guess, did you guys have a team have a Halloween party? I saw pictures. The Patriots did. Bill Belichick was dressed up for Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I dressed up.
Here's the idea.
Game day.
Next year, somebody throw the Halloween party. Invite the team over and start a new tradition.
Yeah, I'm not a party guy, so.
Okay.
Neither am I. So.
How about your favorite Halloween candy? That's the last part of Steve's question here.
Shoot, really anything I can get my hands on. I was eating it. I hated the little candy corn ones that look like
those too.
They're orange and white, I believe, or the black. They were just wrapped in black. It was nasty though. I hated that.
Was it like peanut butter or
yeah,
caramel?
Exactly.
Or,
I hated that.
How about you, Andy?
I really can't remember when I was a kid, but now I dip my hand in the little treat bowl every now and then, and I just pull out the Tootsie Rolls.
I was gonna say no pickles for trick or treating for Davon.
No.
All right, we'll get to our next question here. This one coming from Dan in La Crosse, WFBZ. When coach calls the onside kick on kick coverage, how do you contain yourself from excitement? Do you think about it as like, am I showing I'm smiling right now, or?
Nah. Well, I was out there. I was just thinking, I told everyone just make sure you're onside because they'll referee that play very strictly, even if you're not really offside. But if you're close enough, they'll call a flag on you. So for me, it was just telling everyone just stay calm and make sure you're onside.
Yeah, basically the same thing House just said. I was lined up beside House, and my main thing was stay on side. You don't want to be that guy. And with any play, you just have to do your job, trust your training, and it's our job. You can't get excited over one play call or anything like that.
Coach dials it up. Were you expecting it? Will you just get to the huddle and it's like, Coach said onside kick? Really? We're doing it right now. Because, they caught everybody by surprise. It was a great play call, and obviously it worked out for you.
Yeah, when he called it, I wasn't too surprised, but just the way he called it was like he made it seem like everyone was watching him, and he kind of whispered it, and he tried not to look all awkward. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Coach, you looking so like nervous right now.
Is it Coach McCarthy? Is he the one that makes that call, or is it Slocum?
Well, I don't know. I just know Coach Slocum gives us the call,
okay,
and we ran with it.
So he needs to take some acting classes, is what you're saying. It's
Yeah,
just like can't get all giddy and that sort of thing. So, all right, Davon, this one's for you. It's from Matt WTSO in Madison. What is the secret to blocking a punt?
Really just timing. The timing has to be perfect.
Luck.
It's
it is luck too, though. But
luck.
the timing has to be perfect, and a little bit of luck too. Jamari's case, the timing was perfect, and they screwed up the blocking scheme, so Jamari came sky free and blocked it.
Kind of the same thing on extra points too and field goals.
Well, extra point and field goals, that's actually just push right leverage and really just keep your feet moving.
Davon House, MD Jennings. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up tonight. A special Tuesday night edition of Tanner's here on the Woodward, in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. we are back one final time here on the Woodward Radio Network, a special Tuesday night edition of In the Huddle. In the Huddle brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm, Davon House, and MD Jennings along with us. One thing I want to get your thoughts on, have you followed the Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin situation in Miami? Have you guys seen anything on that?
I haven't. So the only thing I know is what buddy of mine told me in the locker room, but he didn't get into full detail, so I need to look it up. So I haven't, because I have no clue what's going on there.
I've seen it on ESPN and all the other stations.
It's a crazy story, Incognito, and it sounds like bullying, and there's kind of that line between hazing and joking and then I guess bullying. I mean, it seems apparent there's an obvious line, right? I mean, what's having a little bit of fun, having a rookie carry shoulder pads versus, the threats and everything that Incognito's been tossing out there, it seems like.
Yes, it is.
Is it surprising to hear this is going on in an NFL locker room, I guess? Probably the question.
It's very surprising. Green Bay is the only place I've been, and, it's nothing like that here. I don't know what's going on in other places, but, that's very shocking that, that's going on, especially at this level.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. Just kind of want to get some of your thoughts on that there. 187th meeting between you guys and the Bears yesterday. They talk about the rivalry. A lot of you guys were talking about it last week. How much is it talked up? How much, emphasis? How much do you guys learn about the history of Packers Bears, two of the most historic franchises in NFL history?
If you know football, of course you know about the Packers and the Bears rivalry. Really, for me, it's a blessing to be in the rivalry. 20 years from now, I'll be able to tell my kids when it's, 200 and, 15 games they'll be playing. I can tell my son or my daughter, I played in one of those rivalry games.
How about for you, MD?
Like Hal said, it's just a blessing to be able to, experience something like that. And, every game is important. All division games, it goes up to another level. But, last night, that's the loudest I ever heard Lambeau. When we come out for pregame, it was extremely loud. You knew it would be a great environment to play in.
You remember watching it growing up? Seeing some of the moments there, some of the highlights that they show and some of the video packages. You're Mississippi, right?
Yes, I am.
Everyone knows who's from Mississippi.
Yes, I do. Everyone knows. But, I've seen a lot of, Packer Bears game. The one that sticks out the most, I guess it was 2010. I want to say Monday Night Football in Chicago.
That's a lot of penalties, and
that's it.
James had a fumble, and Bears kind of ran off the clock there and kicked it. But speaking of that game, Packers 2010, Giants 2011, Baltimore last year, teams that didn't start out great but finished great. Those are the last three Super Bowl champions. With that being said, do you guys look at records, or is that something you talk about, look, we need to make sure we're doing the things we do now, so come December, come January, we are where we want to be as a team?
Yeah, the thing is here, you want to catch on fire at a good time. So I would like, the way I look at it, I'd rather lose now than lose in January. That's the way I look at it. But I don't look at it like, last three teams were 5-3. To me, that doesn't really matter. The way I look at it, let's win our division. Then let's be the top two records in our division if possible, so we can get that bye week and then go from there.
You mentioned the 5-3. Chicago 5-3, 2-1 in the division. Lions 5-3, 2-1 in the division. You guys 5-3, 2-1 in the division halfway through the season. You know who plays each other next week, right? Are you guys aware? Chicago and Detroit play next week.
That's good. That's good.
But you guys get Philadelphia. What do you know about the Eagles? What have you seen from them over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I'll tell you now. Once again, their backup will be playing. Well, like I said last week, it really doesn't matter. Every backup really is good in the NFL, and as you can see, he threw 7 touchdowns last week. So, we're not going to get, the 4 and what was the record?
They're 4-5.
4-5 Eagles. They're a good team and with a good quarterback too back there, even if it is Vic back there. So it's going to be tough.
4-5 record. They're 4-1 on the road, which it's not easy to win on the road, but that means they're 0-4 at home, which is kind of an anomaly. But it's tough to win on the road in this league, isn't it, MD?
It is. It's hard to win on the road. With crowd noise, things like that. But on the road you just have to start fast. And finish.
One other thing I want to bring up as well, your game with the Giants, it was a night game, flex to 3:25, so it's now an afternoon game. NBC going to go with the Broncos and the Chiefs for Sunday Night Football. Make any difference whatsoever?
Oh, so we were the night game?
You had the night game against the Giants. This is how much you guys actually look ahead, which is what really.
You just have to take it one day at a time.
So yeah, your night game against the Giants in New York is no longer a night game; it is now a day game.
I like that. To me, because I rather get the win and come home. That's the way I look at it.
MD, thank you so much for stopping. A lot of fun with you, sharing some time with us, and best of luck to you the rest of the season. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Davon, thank you so much for coming out on a Tuesday, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Sound good.
All right, wrapping things up here from In the Huddle. Big thanks to Davon House, MD Jennings. I am Justin Hull. We're back to Monday next week. David Bakhtiari and special guest when we return In the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network.